So very good evening, everyone. I'm so glad to be here today, especially at the Kerala chapter of PMI, the Project Management Institute. Now, when we talk about project management, we all go into silence because it's like, it seems so difficult, this terminology, managing a project or managing. I just heard a naval commander, how he spoke so well that about the national integration, the way people were managing that natural calamity that took place. No one expected it to happen, right? But it just happened, and we all had to be in solidarity. Now, when we manage a project or when we run an organization, like I run an NGO, a non-governmental organization. It is a charitable trust called Jyotirgamaya Foundation. There have been days where we have no funding at all, and we have to do certain things. Like for instance, we have to buy a computer, or for instance, we have to take a child to hospital. Now we don't have funds. What do we do? What would you normally do? We would borrow, we would ask someone, we would raise funds. But that is if we do everything unplanned. But if we plan our activities in the beginning of the month, that okay, we have 7 computers, so we will have 7 students in each batch, we will teach them like this, so much salary will be given to the staff, so much money will be, but some unforeseen expense may come at some point. And then what will we do? How do we manage that? Then we have to put money from our own hands. And after some time, after putting money from your own hands, especially when you don't earn and you don't have any income, it's very difficult because then you start hating the project. You're like, oh God, why am I doing this? I mean, I'm just getting poorer and poorer every day because I'm doing this. But actually that's not the way to manage a project. Even our team members, how should we treat them? We should consider them, we should speak to them, ask them their opinion. We should also make them understand that everything that they want is not feasible. Like now we are going to start a preparatory school, and we are recruiting new staff. We already have a computer training center where we train blind people in access technology. We go to the houses of poor blind people who are in the nooks and corners of Kerala. We teach them orientation mobility, how to use a white cane, how to walk themselves, how to be independent. We speak to their parents, we counsel them. Now all this needs a lot of time and effort and dedication. We have to manage our staff. Some staff want to go early, some staff want to go home every weekend, those who are staying. We have to manage them, we have to talk to them with love and with affection. Now my father was in the army, so he's like, they bloody well do it. But no, you can't get things done like that, can you? Only if you have love and affection and positivity, only then people will listen to you. But at the same time, you have to stand your ground. You have to be a proper leader. So that is what we do. That's how we are able to go to the rural areas, to teach blind people, to bring them to our training center. We give them free food and accommodation. We have a proper 9:30 to 5:30 schedule for them, where we have computer training, we have Android phone training, we have iPhone training, we have English and interpersonal skill classes for them. We have orientation and mobility classes where we take them out. We enable them to board public transport. We enable them to travel by themselves, to go to shops, and to integrate. We try to integrate them into mainstream society. We also conduct empowerment workshops for women who are disabled. We make them aware of their rights, especially of the Rights of Persons with Disability Act, recently passed in 2016. We also give them rights awareness training on reproductive health and other kind of things. Enable them to get an outlet to know about their rights. There are a lot of girls and women who are shy of asking a lot of questions. So we conduct some such workshops. We invite people from outside to take sessions. Now all this requires a lot of dedication. So as a founder, I sometimes feel I'm all alone, because now one of my staff members has gone on maternity leave. She was one of my main persons. and another person is there. Now we are recruiting new staff. I have an old friend helping me out. But sometimes I feel, okay, this is all on my head. But I realize that I have to manage, I have to plan. Because if I fail to plan, I will plan to fail. You must always plan what you're going to do. But sometimes you can't always plan. We can't be perfect like the Europeans, but because our current goes. I mean, we may expect something to happen, but the current goes, the internet goes, something doesn't work, the workers don't come on time. All these are challenges. Have you all experienced such challenges in your offices or your organizations? Yes? Yes, so we often experience these challenges and we don't know what to do. We're like running helter-skelter. Inni ee work nadakum nu vicharikkunnu pakshe adu nadakanilla. That will happen the next day. Then it sometimes get delayed. So a lot of challenges happen that are not in our hands. But at the same time, we have to stick together. In fact, I saw a very inspiring figure, Mr. Brahmanayagam. He's a very dynamic person. He's a very well-known soft skill trainer in the National Service Scheme and in many organizations in Kerala. And he doesn't plan anything, actually. I mean, his activities, he will have a camp for students. And he says, okay, ningal 10 minute oru nadagam thayarakkanam. You must, I mean, you know, do it in 10 minutes, make a play, or do a program. And I don't know how the children do it, but they, within those 15 minutes, they have the entire program. Or he sends them to other organizations for voluntary work, or for cleaning work, or for conducting some activities, events, programs. They all do it. Even if they don't plan, they're all there. Spontaneously, they all do it. That's unity. But there is conflict. There is a lot of conflict sometimes. Sometimes we don't have the same opinion. Sometimes we tend to hurt someone by our words. So we must be careful about the words we say when we are managing, when we are at the management position of a project, an organization, a company, an institution. We must maintain our decorum when we speak. These are the good qualities of a project manager. Now, when we talk about project management among persons with disabilities, we're like, how can a disabled person run a project? What do they know? They'll get cheated. But there are many disabled social entrepreneurs, like Shrikant Bole. He runs a company. He's given employment to so many people. I'm a social entrepreneur. I am not cheated by anyone because every staff member of mine is loyal to me. There are so many other project managers. There are so many other people who run organizations who are persons with disabilities. I know people in African countries who run organizations who are disabled. There are such people. There is a lady who I know who suffers from psychosocial disability, schizophrenia. And she runs an organization for persons with psychosocial disabilities. There are many people. I know some blind people in Nepal who run their own organizations. There are people who can do that, who are disabled, but it's just that they need certain adaptations. Like we need everything in a soft copy so that it is digitalized. So we read everything with a screen reader. We may be able to do our accounts not in Tally, but in Excel. And then our accountant does it in Tally for the auditing purpose. People who have physical disabilities, like the GR public school in Niyatingara is run by Sister Maithili. She's physically challenged. So she has a mobility scooter and she goes all around the school. And she knows what's happening, who's doing what. It's just that she's using a mobility scooter rather than walking. So there are people who run projects. There are disabled social activists. We can get around, but we should be trusted. Trust in us. That is when I said the title of my topic would be project management and also inclusion of persons with disabilities. We want inclusion. We want ourselves to be recognized with and without our disabilities. Because we are disabled, we require certain adaptations in our projects. We require certain, blind people require certain things to be done in digital format. We may require someone to read some documents to us. Like even the assistant collector of Cochin is blind. But she's an IAS officer. There was another person in Tamil Nadu who got through foreign service, IFS. David Blunkett, the Home Minister in England. There are people with physical, but yeah, people with physical disabilities don't need too many adaptations except accessible roads and ramps and railings and things like that. But otherwise, blind people require every single material to be converted into either Braille or digital accessible format. And we all have to comply with the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines so that all websites and all web content is accessible for persons with disabilities, is perceivable, is operable, is understandable and robust. Now, we can use screen readers, we can use Android phones, we can use iPhones with the help of VoiceOver and TalkBack. We can use NVDA, non-visual desktop access. It's a free screen reader in Windows. In Linux, we can use Orca. In iOS, of course, VoiceOver, that's inbuilt. We can do everything so that we can use social media. There is nothing we can't do. And with some software applications like Smart Lens and ID, we can even recognize certain images and scan documents. There is OCR. There is no OCR for local languages. That's why we require human voice to read, and that's why I keep asking people to read Malayalam books for our students, because we don't have a proper OCR in Malayalam. So this is how we have to manage. So please, if you get someone with disabilities who wants to run an organization or who wants to learn project management or who is attending your conference, wherever, in the Kerala chapter or anywhere, make the content accessible for them. Try to include them. Now look at this stage. It is 5 feet high. I climb the steps because I'm a blind person. I have no problem. I can climb. They asked me, do I require any additional support? A very kind Mr. Jay Kishore sir and Akila Gaurishankar madam, I really thank you for your inclusion. You asked me n number of times if I needed support. Now I'm sure if I was physically challenged, you would have placed a ramp here and allowed my wheelchair to come onto the stage, right? So that is inclusion. These little things mean a lot. They even asked me if I require any additional support. And I'm sure if I said yes, you would have provided that. So that's how persons with disabilities feel wanted. You could have invited so many people here. There are so many ministers, so many entrepreneurs, so many illustrious actors and actresses, and so many people, but why me? Because you had faith in me. You thought that I could speak to you guys and open your eyes about disability, but also you thought I had some knowledge. And I thank you for that. I thank PMI Trivandrum or PMI Kerala for that. I really, really thank you. My heart goes out to all of you for that inclusion. But because I am a North Indian, I'm the daughter of a military officer, and I had the chance to travel far and wide, I was still discriminated. When I was small, I never got my Braille notes on time. I was thrown out of the class in my 3rd standard, and that's what was the turning point in my life. That is when I said that I am not going to allow my future blind brothers and sisters to get discriminated. I want to do something. I want to change this situation. There should be no backbenchers. I used to play with plasticine. I used to sharpen pencils in the backbench in sighted schools because they didn't know what to do with me. In my 8th standard, I lost my mother. My father had to go to war. And then also I was completely alone. Then I went to an integrated school where some notes were given in Braille. There were some resource teachers who helped us. But again, for maths and science, we were again excluded because we couldn't draw diagrams. There were no tactile diagram facilities for us. I still don't know certain concepts. Certain concepts are still abstract for me because I've never felt them. I've never seen a proper tactile drawing. And I want my future blind students to feel everything to see everything with their inner eye. That's why I call my organization Jyotirgamaya Foundation, from darkness to light. Not while you say, okay, give them light. Give them inner light. Make them feel everything. Make them walk, explore the roads, watch movies, enjoy themselves, have entertainment, be digitally literate. This is what I mean by darkness to light. A lot of people tell me, you must pray, you will get your eyesight back. You must pray, you must go to this church, that temple, that Ayurveda, the doctor. I say, no, I don't need this. If any of my students need that, I'll inform you. But I'm happy with my inner eyes because I don't miss anything. I can see everything. I can feel nature. I can hear the sound of the birds. I can feel the wind. I can feel the rain. I can do everything. I'm happy. I can use a screen reader. I can type faster than you guys on WhatsApp. I can do voice typing too. I can type, I can write, I can send emails, I can do my alignment, Excel, anything you want. I can speak well, I can walk with my white cane, I can board a bus, I can do my banking, I can book my railway tickets, I can transfer money. I don't need eyes. I have my eyes. My eyes are my inner eyes, my willpower. And I can observe this world. It has beauty. This world is a beautiful place. It's not a bad place to live in. But a lot of people with disabilities say, oh, I don't have eyes, I don't have legs, oh, why am I? No, there should be things that we can enjoy. Let's quit complaining for what we don't have. And let's be happy for what we have. Let's be happy for what we have and what God's given us. God has given some of you really, really good jobs in Technopark, in companies. You get a big fat salary every month. We who run NGOs, we get it in one hand, it goes out of the other hand. But still we're happy because God will provide, because we're doing something good. So there are a lot of things that we should be happy for and not be unhappy. And as project leaders, sometimes the going gets bad. As project managers, we feel we're alone, we're going downhill. Isn't it? Yes? Do we feel that? Yes. Why do we feel that? Because we think, okay, no one's listening to us. Our subordinates are not coming. They're not listening. They want more salary. They want this. This wants that. The business is not going well. Even business people are here, right? Are there any people running businesses here? Yes? So, if the going goes down, then how do you feel? Okay, how will I pay my next worker? Okay, what do I do? Because in business, you win and you lose. You get profit and you get loss. In NGOs, it's always loss, but it's mental profit and financial loss. But in businesses, if it's profit, it's all profit, yeah? I mean, you can afford to travel in your Mercedes-Benz, but one fine day, if your business goes blook, you're blook. But don't worry, it's not the end of the world. Be positive, because if you are negative, that affects the people who are below you or the people who are with you. It affects them. But if you give them hope that we're going to run this project or we're going to do this business or we're going to bring it back up, then they will walk with you. There are challenging times. We do cry. We do feel sad. We do feel sad when we lose something. We do get worried. Even I get worried. I've recently shifted my office. All my staff had different opinions about where to put what and what looks nice where. And I was completely lost because I can't see. And I'm like, okay, you guys do what you want. And there was so much of bickering and this, that, do this. But I was like, okay. I was upset for a day, but then I was like, okay, I need to calm down, because if I don't calm down, they're not going to calm down and the work's not going to be done. And if I don't get them to work, even they're going to be lazy. So a few of us said, okay, forget the friction, forget the conflicts, let's work together. And this happens, or when there are many people in one setting, it does happen. Everyone has an opinion. We have to satisfy everyone. Now, one of my colleagues said, no, you don't have to satisfy everyone, just, be the leader. He was in the army and he just said, yeah, you just be the leader. Make sure everyone follows you. You can't do that in an NGO setup. You can in a corporate, right? Because, okay, your boss is going to give you a big fat salary. You can in the government also. But you cannot in this kind of a setting, in an NGO setting, because you need everyone to work with you wholeheartedly. You need dedication. It's not just a 9-to-5 job. And you're not going to get 25,000 rupees in your account or 50,000 rupees in your account at the end of the day. Like some people may think, like, and people like Anna in IBS can think, okay, I'll do what my boss says because, yeah, IBS gives me so much money every month, so I don't care. But we don't give so much money every month. So it's heart, it's money, it's everything. So if I need to listen to you, I need to be happy with you. I need to learn that I'm being acknowledged. So it's always important to acknowledge your team members. But at the same time, in some places, we have to stand our ground as leaders. But don't make your team members feel unwanted. Include them, whether they are persons with disabilities or not. Even if they're not persons with disabilities, try to include them. Do not make anyone work like a machine. Give them breaks from time to time. And pat them on the shoulders when they need a pat. Give them encouragement, positive reinforcement. That yes, great, you're doing good. I appreciate your work. Small little things, they matter. They boost somebody's morale. This is what happens. This is what positive. Okay, you did this. Okay, great. Just smile at the person. Just one smile. It costs nothing. This is how we should run successful projects. And of course, I did talk to you about inclusion of persons with disabilities, integration, awareness. There are people with many disabilities out there, especially in India, and we should include them all by providing all the accessible facilities. Thank you.